Hey guys, I wanted to share my spiritual awakening experience with you and some of the things that I experienced so far during the journey. Before the actual awakening, I guess you can call it, I always used to ask, what more is it to life? I always felt in my heart, in my spirit, that it was something much more than getting up, going to work, and doing your regular 9 to 5, and just worrying about paying the bills and making a living and surviving. I always felt that it was so much more to life. And for a long time before I woke up, I always used to feel like I was in a box. I used to feel closed in because I felt that it was so much more to life, but I just did not know exactly what it was until one day I was lying in bed and I was asking that question, which I always used to ask on a regular basis. I used to ask what some might perceive as the Most High, God, the Creator of all. I used to ask the question, what more is it to life? Please show me. And one day I found out. The words dimensions and planes popped into my head. And I got out of bed, and this was like in the middle of the night. I was on my way to sleep, and I just felt a strong urge. I felt a strong urge to get up out of bed and go Google planes and dimensions. And once I Googled planes and dimensions, I came across a plethora of so much information. And that information led to more information and more information, and it just kept on going and going. And I was coming across, that's when I started to learn about conspiracy theories and chakras and meditation, and I started to learn about the history of ancient Kemet, the ways of them doing things, and it just was so fascinating to me because a lot of the information that I was coming across truly resonated with my heart, like it resonated with my spirit. And one of the things that I kept coming across was meditation. I kept coming across meditation so many times, but I kept placing it on the back burner. Even though it sparked my interest, I just did not make any time to really get into it. Until one day it came across my attention. I was like, you know what? Let me pay attention, because when things cross your attention, when things come across to you multiple times, it's really meant for you to pay attention to it. And that's exactly what I did. So I started to meditate on a regular basis, and it really started to shift my perspective on my life, on myself. It really helped me to become more in tune with myself. And once I started to become more in tune with myself, I just started to really look at my lifestyle. I really started to reflect within and look at the things that I can change within myself to better me and to better my life, and to take the steps in my life to make it the way I want it to be. I started to realize that I create my own reality, and everything that I don't like in my life, I can change it. So that's one of the things I came to realization with, that I create my own reality. And I also started to become more health conscious. I started to realize that a lot of my health choices, they have a lot to do with my vibes, my vibration. And my vibration has a lot to do with how I feel on a day-to-day basis. And I stopped relaxing my hair, because I really started to stay away from a lot of the harsh chemicals. So I stopped relaxing my hair, and I just really became more in tune with my life, with myself. I felt the urge to stop doing a lot of things. I felt the urge to stop smoking. I fell back from drinking. I felt the urge to stop hanging out with a lot of people that I was hanging with. And it wasn't that it was anything wrong with the people I was hanging with. It was just that I really felt the need to have to recharge myself more often. So if I was to go out to a party or just hang out in general, it was really draining for me, especially once I became more in tune with myself. Excuse me guys, I had to change my location. But like I was saying, I begun to make healthier food choices. I started to stay away from a lot of foods that contained harsh chemicals in them. Chemicals that I learned would have effect on my vibrational frequency. One of my goals out of many once I woke up was to keep my vibes high. And that's one of my goals to this day. And another thing, I started to get lonely on this journey because I did not understand that this spiritual process, this journey that we're going on, this awakening is completely necessary and beneficial for your spiritual growth on many levels. And it's shaping you into the person that you're meant to be in order to fulfill your life purpose here on earth. And once I really started to fully and truly grasp that concept, my outlook as far as being lonely changed. And it definitely can get lonely because your vibrational frequency is shifting. You're now vibrating at a higher level than you were once before the awakening. And a lot of things you're no vibrating at the same level as. So things and people and jobs and friends, they start to fall out your life. They literally start to drop out your reality. And that can be a confusing and lonely process. So if you're going through a tough time with this spiritual awakening, just remember that it does get much easier. You just have to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do, what you feel in your heart that you're supposed to be doing in order to make sure that you're spiritually right, in order to make sure that you're spiritually aligned. But it does get easier. So that's my spiritual awakening experience, and I would love to hear you guys' experiences or the highlight of your experiences, your spiritual awakening experiences. Please do share. Thank you for watching.